Yetta, what are schools teaching about finances and wealth building these days?
How would I know? It's been a few years since I've been to school.
I guess so.
When I went, they didn't teach much.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We are excited to welcome you to another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And we have a special guest today who can answer the question. Lauren is with us and knows a little bit more about the school system than I do, or Ken does.
A more recent
analysis of the whole thing. And so we're excited to share techniques, thoughts, tips, tools, and tactics that we all need, we all deserve. You, I, everyone. So we can turn our house into home, our families thrive, and we get to build wealth wisely through real estate. We're going to consider that what is the current education system teaching, and is it enough when it comes to money and things of financial matter?
Mm-hmm. And we met Lauren a few years back. Lauren's the daughter of one of our clients, and she's also a registered massage therapist. So
which makes her a business owner.
Yes,
because if you're watching the previous segment, we talked about some of the challenges of business owners. And so Lauren not only is a small business owner, she's a startup. And that makes life even more interesting.
Yeah. And Lauren's in her mid-20s. I'm not going to give away your age. And to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, probably fairly recent graduate of college. Mm-hmm. And, so why did we bring Lauren on the show? Because Lauren, we met at the Building Wealth Wisely workshop.
Yes, we sure did.
And
again,
yeah. And we wanted to get your thoughts on it. And you got very excited about what was there. And so we're just going to ask you a few questions.
And hopefully you're going to learn a little bit as you do. So just sort of tap in, not only for your youth, but even for yourself, because there's clues that Lauren will give you as to how you can utilize the information, even if you're not a younger person. There was information there, I think, for everybody. So Lauren will give us some insight that Ken and I can't give because we're sitting inside the frame of the Building Wealth Wisely workshop. Mm-hmm. Like, we created it, we designed it, we believe in it, and yet when you hear it from us, that's one thing. Yeah. But to hear somebody else's perspective, we thought you'd find that really valuable.
Mm-hmm. So, Lauren, what did the school system, like we're talking high school, public, like elementary school, high school, college, even, your RTM, RMT, right? Is that all right? Registered Massage Therapist course. Did they teach you?
What did they teach?
Yeah, what did they teach on finances, on wealth building?
Okay, well, as Yetta said, honestly, it's still kind of the same. Definitely not a whole lot. I came out of even high school and college still feeling totally uneducated on taxes and how real life world money actually works once you're, not under your parents' roof or maybe even their money anymore kind of thing. So the school system has definitely made me feel very underprepared for any kind of financial situation that I would encounter after college or high school.
Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately. I wish I could speak highly more so, but yes, it's the truth.
So what was the draw for you then when your parents got an email, or you got an email as well, about the Building Wealth Wisely workshop back in September? Mm-hmm. And because we hadn't done anything like that in a really long time. We did do a lot of workshops prior to COVID, and then COVID happened and it just sort of became a thing we didn't do for a season, and then we learned that we needed to be doing it again because there's a lack of information out there.
Absolutely.
So what caused you to come?
Well, I got super excited. In a point in my life, I had just started learning a little bit more about finances recently because I am a small business owner now. So I had read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book, which had got me really into all this kind of financing. And then lo and behold, your email comes along and my parents have informed me about what you guys have to bring forward. And I thought it would be super cool to see the correlation from the book that I had just read to a real life scenario. And maybe people who I didn't actually know anything about what you guys were going to say or how you were going to present yourselves, but
neither did we, Lauren.
By being there, like I was so motivated afterwards because everything that I had read in that book, it seemed that you guys had done the exact same thing, kind of. So the correlation was actually very strong. So even more so afterwards, even more excited to continue learning more about this building wealth wisely. You guys set the tone for me. Absolutely.
Oh, cool. Now, sounds like there was a lot of excitement. Did you have fear around money, finances, building wealth, like future retirement, because you're an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Like the old school way was get a great job, get something that had a pension, stay there for 35 years, retire on your pension, right?
Yeah.
That's not the way of...
I did the total opposite is what I did, exactly. So there was definitely a lot of fear as well as the excitement going into it. Fear of the unknown, because like I said, I felt totally underprepared for this coming into the world. So fear is definitely a big thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, what was one surprise? You came to the workshop. What did we spend? About an hour and a half together? Yeah. What was a big surprise for you that you just didn't know you were going to get that when you went?
I think the biggest surprise for me was the atmosphere, honestly. As soon as I walked into that room, being in a room with other people who had a like-minded mindset as I did going in there was actually really comforting because I didn't know what I was walking into either. This was my first kind of actual in-person, aside from reading a book and what someone else had said, right? So the biggest thing for me was the vibe and the energy. That was amazing. And like I said, it made me feel a lot more comfortable. So that was great.
So what was the vibe and the energy? Because I'm sure if you're listening, you're going, okay, what was going on in that room? Who was there? What was the vibe like for you? Like, what was it?
At first, I could feel it was definitely, everyone was kind of feeling the same kind of thing. A little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, that fear that you were talking about. I could feel that at first. But once you guys had started presenting, everyone kind of settled in. There was different age groups for sure. I had some people my age, even some people younger, which was great. And a couple people older as well. But yeah, it was great. The vibe was great.
All right.
All wanted to learn the same thing.
So that's an interesting thing. Everybody that was focused on learning about how to take care of money wisely.
You wanted to be there. You could tell that you wanted to be there. They were there because they wanted, not because you were forced.
There were no prisoners there.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So it was a community feel. And now you were there. You actually came with your dad, right?
I did.
And your brother.
And my brother was. Yeah. He is younger than me as well, too. So it was great.
Okay. And how do you think your parents, now we're not going to rat them out on the air, but how do you think they prepared you for your wealth journey? And based on probably their limited amount of teaching or wealth teaching that they got, right? So did they have a role, or what's that?
Yeah,
what was that like for you?
I would definitely say my parents would have definitely helped me in a positive view for sure, as they were always good at saving money and, knowing where their money goes. My mom was a banker her whole life, so she could help me a lot with budgets and things like that. But I do have to say it's a lot harder listening to your parents than someone else. So thanks, Mom and Dad. But yes, I need other perspectives.
There is truth. So
that is true. We hear that a lot.
Yeah, I have a question for our listeners. What is your biggest fear around wealth building? And we're glad that we can position you to build wealth wisely through real estate, because it's about much more than just money.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward